Okay. What's up, y'all? We are back. Hope everybody's doing good. Not doing too bad myself. Getting set up here in a second, and we'll be good to go. All right. Relearning the wheel every time, it feels like. The Master Builder. Sounds dirty, Ludorev. If I'm the Master Builder, what does that make you? That's the question. The water's too big in the way. But it sounds similar. Similar enough, you know? Yeah. So, since last stream, you're not on the Discord. I did a little cleanup because I was tired of digging holes on stream all day. So I cleared this out. It's not perfect yet. I still got a ways to go, but I wasn't sure how high this is going to end up. So we're nearly cleaned up. A little bit of roof stuff, a little bit of this wall stuff. I'm probably going to have to take some more of this out as I mess around. Got it raised up, the floor as well. Got all the beds out of the way because I want to build a smelting area or smithing area, I guess. I also wanted this to be a slightly more epic entrance. So I wanted, from the beginning, I wanted stairs that went up to it. And then I was like, well, if we build stairs, what if we built like a stream that waterfalls and cascades down into this? So that's sort of what I was starting to mess with. I also saw someone build just a waterfall. I don't even think they built a base. I think they were just building a waterfall, but it looks epic. And they used snow and ice. And I was like, this has to happen. It just looks too good. And I thought a moat would just look really pretty right here. So I was like, it's just a win-win-win-win, you know? So I'm excited to mess with that a little bit. No, yeah. Also messed with just materials and just learning really is what it comes down to more and more everywhere I can. How things interact, how stuff works. It's a lot of things to figure out. Rivendell build in the future? I mean, that seems more up your alley, though. Really. But I am taking inspiration, I will say that, from Rivendell. Where's my other image? You'll know this. Is this a Lord of the Rings thing? Is this build? I feel like this is Lord of the Rings, but I can't figure out what the heck the name of it is. But this is a big thing I'm taking inspiration from for this whole build. A little different, of course, but it's part of the main idea. So if you know what that's called, let me know. I have a lot of ideas going right now. A lot of many different builds. Different buildings. Like this is... Don't think so, but themed? Okay. That's kind of what I thought, because I could not for the life of me find a name of it. Like, I cannot find the name of that thing. So I was like, it's got to be some random thing. It's not an actual Lord of the Rings. It just feels that way. So that's the main inspiration. But then like this, I'm using the entrance for Erebor. The castle, I don't have anything specific for as of to date. Not really sure how that's all going to go. We got a ways to go. The detail and scale of this is going to be a lot larger. So I think it'll be... We'll figure it out as we go. As always. But my little area is coming together finally. I feel like I'm at a point where I can start detailing properly and do the things I want to do instead of just screwing around with... You're fumbling around more accurately with trying to figure out the build system and what I want to do. But having everything cleared out so I can start making an actual base is nice. The hardest part is figuring out how all this wants to be like organized. There's just so many pieces. I don't even have everything built. Like, there's items I still don't even have. Like the thing with the bellows that I just had. Gotta build this thing. Think this guy makes it? Yeah, the blast furnace. I don't have that. Wait, what do you need? Fired brick, clay, and iron bars. Ugh. Do you use Chisel's tip on lowering the voxel detailing for building? No, I haven't even heard of it. What is this? Let me know. Tell me the tips, that's what you're here for. A showcased, interesting. Don't really care about the weapons or any of the decorations. They'll sing your tale for years to come. Who are you? Goodbye. Not useful. Okay. I don't have a beehive made yet. Decorations. I think I have that. Oy vey. So much. So much to do, so little time. Wait. You sound horrible. Yikes. Lowering the voxel detailing. Does that make it better to build, or does that make it look better? I guess is the question. Texture resolution? Voxel detail models. Settings, you can lower the voxel detail to make the blocks a basic block, so they're easier to see when building, which I do use, and then when you want to see what everything looks like, you put it back on performance. Let's look at that, and then I can actually see it. Like, I want to see that edge, though. I feel like that makes it interesting, but it is absolutely harder to build with it on. I don't know. I'll have to mess with it to see if I like it. At least until... I think at least until I know what the blocks look like a little bit better, I think I'll stick with the current route, building with performance. Because I just don't... The details that it offers are such a big part of... Like, that to me looks so different. I can see how it's easier to place the blocks for sure. But I don't even know, like, what I'm building then. Is my struggle. So I was also messing with... hand railings and creating those. You can use the windows to create hand railings, which is cool. And I really want to find a way... make this like a big smelting thing, but I'm not really sure how that's going to go. Need to flatten this. Do this properly. Yeah, I mean, I definitely understand the struggle of placing the blocks, for sure. I absolutely understand that. It is visually overwhelming at times. Where'd you come from? What the heck? I'm sure I'll figure out what I like and don't like as we go, though. Gonna take a little. Okay, well. Get in your hole. Okay, so then this thing... might need to go slightly lower. Well... where'd my picture go? I took some pictures earlier of a build that I really liked in Enshrouded. It's the... does it show me what it was? No, not really. There's a cool, like, smelting building up in the new Albany Heights area that I really liked. I'm gonna steal a bit of that design. The issue is you can't place the lava like they can, which is kind of a bummer. I really wish we had the lava block. Makes me really want to use the Builder's Companion, but I just prefer survival building. I'm fine collecting the resources, not collecting the resources, or I should say. But I just prefer building with, like, so other people can build exactly what I built. I find that does better for the... on YouTube and stuff. People just want to see more. The more creative, the less likely people are able to copy it exactly. Ooh, see-through did a lava tip? Well, it's too... now I gotta do it next stream. Can't watch it now. I've seen some cool stuff done with these, so I wanted to mess with this too. You can sort of hide these with ice and stuff and a lot of different things. I'll have to watch his video then. I haven't watched any of his stuff on Enshrouded hardly at all. Come on. But I want this to feel like a big smelting area is the main goal. So whatever makes that happen. Can you get out of here? Dude. Get out of here. You out of there. You've lost roaming privileges. Anyone that gets in my way. You too. I don't want you. Anyone that gets in my way gets an automatic timeout. Taking all the Enshrouded info in I could before I even started playing. I mean, that's the struggle, is there's so much. Like, I've been watching tons of videos, but really? Oh my goodness. Why doesn't it work for those? I've watched a ton of videos, I just haven't caught everything. No, I'm just overwhelmed, right? A little bit, little bit. Okay, let's see it's bigger. Yeah. Think polished. Oops. I was using polished, okay. Second I was like, I want to use polished and I'm not using it. We'll see. Why do these rotate back so often? That part I haven't been able to totally figure out. Yeah, first person for these details would be really nice. Or slightly change the perspective when building. Because like I can't place here when I'm looking down at it, so you have to do these weird angles. At times. Hard to get used to. Your Hobbit build is looking good though. You definitely have a lot of detail going already. You're way ahead of me. Struggles of only doing it when I'm streaming. Wait, where'd my picture go? I exited out of it. Dang it. I'm not as overwhelmed as I was. I'll say that. Nice thing is I know we're getting more and more as this game goes on, so. I mean, shoot. Andy Nat wasn't even a thing in Grounded for till the 1.2 update. So, you know, we got time. Just become great at it now, and when it becomes easier, I'll just be happy. Got me on scale? Yeah. I mean, that's typically, I guess you do really big builds too, but I start with big scale from the beginning. That's just the only way my visions work. The idea is sort of to find some way to make this look like a forge. If I can figure out his lava thing, I'll watch it after stream. Yeah, I find a bigger scale just forces me to be to try more things. Is honestly what it comes down to. I actually did need that image. What a fool. Big old column. I'm definitely gonna want it bigger. This is a big old room. Like a quad one, maybe? It's also been an interesting day. Tried Adderall for the first time. Always felt like I'm quite ADHD, and I've been thinking about... I have a couple friends that have recently been diagnosed, and they're all like, yeah, you should try it. So I had one friend give me one, and my focus has been on a different level today. It's insane. That's been really fun. I feel very focused tonight. Been daydreaming about an actual creative on this, no flame altars, and the whole world is buildable. Dude, that's when it's a different world. 100%. That is a bit of a dream. It's not a bit of a dream. It's a good dream. Very good dream. Honestly, this is the type of game I could get on board with full creative. I definitely could get on board with this game specifically. Being pretty incredible, I'll say that. I like the columns. I don't necessarily... These are a little big though, aren't they? Click, click, click. Yeah, I wouldn't cry about full creative, that's for sure. It'd be very fun. We would get that. I'm building Middle Earth, and I'll be building for a lifetime, 100%. I mean, they haven't confirmed creative, but it's definitely been something they've mentioned in... If you don't follow them on YouTube, you should watch a couple of their like roadmap videos. They're not necessarily like giving you all that much, but they also give enough information that you can kind of tell the path they're going on. So like we are getting water. We don't know if it's going to be running water. We don't know like the overall detail, but it's coming. And so you know like roughly what is on the horizon for this game, which is really nice. They've even done a couple like actual maps. Oops. Dang it. A couple actual like maps, which is kind of fun. Just like teasing like which one's it gonna be. Okay, that looks pretty good. Needs to be taller. Yeah, water I know for sure is in the works. They definitely mentioned that. Thank goodness. Water would be really nice. I know that for sure is going to be a great addition. Although I will say, like, I'm pretty impressed with how the water looks just messing with it. Or making water, I guess, is the better way to phrase this. Just with some ice and stuff. quite nice. You just have to find the right combination of snow and water. The snow gives you the moving feel, which I think is really cool. Really cool little simple trick to get the vibe of it. And then we'll just have to eventually redo it when the actual water's out. What is the city wall? Not that this is finalized and only will be city wall. We'll see. City wall is currently what this is. I like this better. Where is it? Haven't messed with any of that yet, and I've done very little exterior. That's where it's gonna like... You're gonna be like, wow, this is really cool and fun, and then you're gonna start doing the exteriors, and you're gonna be like, what? It's a different level messing with the landscaping and all that stuff, but it looks so freaking good. Honestly, it's so good. Oops. Terrain block, please? Definitely don't know the best way to place it yet, but... I felt like a moat made a lot of sense for a little dwarven-like style build. I haven't really seen many people messing with a moat design yet either, so sounds fun. Great little detail. It already looks, I mean, the ice, like, looks as if it is water in many ways. You build with it, right? A little funky, but... There, that went away. Okay. Can't talk. I'm going to be driving 40 minutes home from work. No worries, man. Glad you're doing good. Or at least I hope you're doing good. Ooh, get over there. Why does it do that? Definitely finicky. Lude, you're gonna spend weeks just messing with the landscaping and stuff. It's gonna be crazy. You're gonna love it. I could build this up a little. Why? Doing that. Dirt? Sure. Stone, dirt. Dirt's probably fine. I'm stuck. Ah, let me out. Oh no. Okay, we're free. I'm alive. Be lurking. Hate to bounce out, but I gotta get some sleep. No worries, man. No worries. Never feel bad about getting sleep. Just because I'm on a different time zone than you. But you'll be missed. Why do I get work emails at 8:30 at night? Who is sending an email to a bike rack manufacturer right now? Like, get out of here. We're also gonna need cool block. I guess I could try the city wall again. I'm gonna find a way to like contain the water. Can't just be floating. I think using like edge blocks like this is gonna be a lot of my design work. Just adding in slightly different materials here and there. Why is that a thing? Because I like the look of like, this is a great example. The edge of this looks really nice with the circular design. But the issue is that when you connect it with itself, the edge goes away. You have to utilize different materials to create that edge. So it's going to be a lot of combining of randomness to figure out what I like and don't like in terms of those edges. Luckily, all the blocks look good together in some way, shape, or form. Also helps when you use the same block as what you were using. And then like these kind of details, like what is this going to look like? Like that's interesting. There's just so many details like this that I'm going to be able to figure out. But like that's ages. Dang it. Creating that. Gonna be a lot of messing around. Lots. I think this is the weathered stone. It's also a lot of work just remembering what everything is. How do I not have weathered stone? That's why. Didn't grab everything. Torches. That's all good. Weathered stone looks really interesting. I'm really like his small details, how it like floats almost. Like these blocks look really cool, just like the little edge details that it provides. And then that's not even considering like you come in and what did I use? These. You get set up properly. Can then use these clipped in. I don't think this is what it's going to be, but a little too much going on. But there's going to be so many combinations. It's crazy. There we go. Pick these up. I think I'm going to use those around this smelting area. Will be part of it. That's already starting to look interesting. And there's like castle wall. It's really nice too. It looks good with what I'm currently doing. I do like that. That's a nice edge detail, honestly. Oh, let's... I guess this is very similar to how I liked to think of Grounded. Build things that are symmetrical and then afterwards decide like which one looks better. Instead of, especially in this game, feels like you really... Hello? Those single blocks is, yeah, they are, aren't they? By building symmetrically in many ways, you make your life a lot easier. It's not as much detail though. Yeah, you can test out things. So make one side one material, another side another material. Definitely not red. I want to use a lot of different blocks. I don't hate the weathered or the highly polished stone. It does look nice. A lot of it's just trying to remember how all these little things look. It's a nice block too. It's a little too hodgepodge for me. The Wells block's really nice too. If I really wanted to go full Erebor, that would be a great block, but I don't think I want to go quite that crazy. Oh, this one's really nice. You can, yeah, a good edge detail to remember. We'll use that inside, I believe, a bit more. So many decisions, man. It's the hard part. It's always the struggle right now, is making a decision. Oops. What was this? Polished granite. Okay. That one. Jump. Let me place the block on myself. Alright, whatever. Trying to find like different blocks that I like using, but it also ends up using the smallest one, unfortunately. Part kind of sucks. Then we'll have like wool. There'll be a second floor throughout all of this. This height sort of is going to determine how much I need to move the outside up. Because I made this balcony and then kind of made some secondary decisions that don't necessarily fit as well now. Height-wise, at least, is raising this whole thing 3 blocks makes a big difference. Floor plate. Granite. I always forget to look at the little list. Oh, it is. Is that just shadow? I'm just crazy. Okay. I'm just crazy. It was good. Yeah, that just goes at the bottom level. Hard telling what I'm placing and where. Building this after the fact. May not function like a normal moat, but it will have some effects. It'll be a little hard getting the scales right. The person I was watching, or the person that built, did a very large scale build for their waterfall. I'm going to have to be more sparing with it. Just little tiny details. Give the illusion of it's like turbulent water without doing that. Yeah, that'll kind of do it. I definitely want these things to sort of feel like this was literally built into the mountain. So kind of retroactively going backwards and adding detail is going to be a really big part of how this all comes together, I think, where these things will start to look like they were built as one. This was built into the hillside, not that I built around it. If that makes any sense at all. Oops. Didn't really understand the undo button for a while. I'm really starting to understand the undo button as well. Oh no. Get me out of there. Then figuring out how to like do all the dirt backfill gonna be interesting. Adding in like miscellaneous foliage and stuff. Always really liked the idea of messing with landscape in building games, but it's never really, there hasn't been many games that allow for it. Outside of like Minecraft, but it wasn't to the detail level that I liked. Get rid of that. Gosh, I'm going to spend so much time doing stuff like this. Hopefully this is what the people want. Oops. I do that every time. Switch to the block. That's almost what I want. There'll be a lot of this kind of back and forth between the big block and the little blocks. Glad I didn't pick the one material that you slide around on. Honestly, if this game had a handy net, it'd be the best thing in the world. Hands down, no question asked. Yeah. Need a bit more stone now with what I just did. Okay, come on. You explain what FAFSA is for college? Just like the student, it's essentially just like getting money, student loan sort of stuff, but based off of your family's income, typically. I did not qualify for it when I was in college, so I wouldn't say I know a ton about it. But it's financial aid for sometimes if you or your parents, it kind of depends on if you're like, when I applied for college, I was straight out of high school, no job, nothing. So it was purely based off of my parents' income, which disqualified me from getting anything useful. So I didn't really pay much attention to it. But I have a lot of friends that were able to get a decent amount. So if it's just you paying for your college, it's very possible that you might be able to get financial aid that way. It's a great little thing that they have for people, for sure. Can't see what I'm placing. Why does it look like that? The hardest part about landscaping is making it look realistic. Definitely an interesting way to have to think. Did that help at all, though? Knife? That explanation. Stone. Why? Definitely an interesting process learning how these blocks want to work together. The terrain blocks. Definitely a little jank. I'm sure it's probably just the way I'm doing it, but... Oop, that ain't it. I mean, snow adds just enough that it does feel like a little stream. I don't hate that. I'm glad it helped. I mean, if you have other questions, I can help where I can, but I wouldn't say I'm a FAFSA expert. By any means. Good times getting set up for college, man. Those were times. Yeah. No! Don't fall in a hole. Oh, gosh. Okay, I get it. Let me out. This is where it's going to get it really interesting, because I'm going to have to do a lot. That's already looking like a gorgeous little... For 3 years I have to pay 65? Man, that's expensive. But I mean, yeah, not 25 a year, so it's probably pretty accurate. If you're going to a state school of any kind. If you do a community college, you could probably do a little bit better, but... I think I paid 95 for 7 years. Maybe a little over. Maybe it was probably about 100 by the end of it. What? Wrong block. Dang it. Education be expensive these days, I'll tell you that. I have to put in 25 hours per week, and it's about 25 bucks every week, too, I believe, or so. 20 bucks every... It was 25 bucks a week for school. That's not bad. Sounds like it's probably more per day. But I didn't ever think of it as a per day thing. It's hard to say, I guess. Everything online? That's nice. It's difficult, I'll tell you that. It's difficult to do school online, but it's also convenient and really nice, so. I had to take one class online, and it was pretty miserable. That was more, I think, a me thing than in general, so. But good for you, though, man. Dude, let me up, please. It's not all ice. Why? The real question, I guess the stream has to come from, like, up here. Would probably make sense. Or maybe we just make a little lake here. There's gonna be a castle, so I don't know. We'll have to leave it. I just really liked how this was looking. From the beginning, I've thought like this would look like a cool little stream coming down. It was like one of the first things I noticed. I was like, that could be really interesting. It's too straight. Dang it. Stone again. It's a little jank in some spots, but these will be some of the nice things that I'll be able to do like off stream, just like just messing with terrain and all that. This is too flat currently. I think it helps with the water look if you go a little bit proud, or like you get away from the stone blocks being placed or whatever terrains around it. It allows it to look a little more natural. Stone kind of weirdly connects to it for some reason. Let me go. Stop it. You just put a little snow in there. Nice. It's looking pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty amazing that that looks as well as it does. It's a finicky little process, but You get it right, it looks good. Really does give the vibe of exactly what I'm going for. It's really interesting. It's very interesting how these decide to connect. That ain't it. This block. Oh, come on. God. That one little piece of stone here. Just like asserting its dominance over all the other textures. It's gonna drive me insane. Why you do this game? It's also like keeping a realistic feel of like how this would connect. I guess I could put stone and stuff in the middle. It's got to feel like it has a semi-natural path. Don't want to be looking at it and be like, that looks like the water would just flow off the edge. I like it though. Coming together. Don't hate it. Don't hate it at all. We are doing family games this Christmas, so I'm trying to figure out funny games to do. Not like card games, like embarrass yourself miserably games. Is how my wife's family is. That's been fun. Yeah, this is too small. Oh. Need to get to this side. Come on. It's too slippery. I don't like it. Dang it. Cards Against Humanity. Yeah, but it can't be like a game. It's like, I don't even know how to describe the randomness that is my wife's family. We will be doing, like last year, they called them reindeer games. So we had to blindfoldedly with spoons pick up marshmallows and put them in cups, and whoever had the most in their cup at the end won. And there was like rounds and winners of the tournament, like tournament brackets almost. They're very, very competitive. I actually used to be really competitive, and my wife's family made me no longer competitive because they're so competitive. Except for my wife, she is not competitive at all. She has no interest in competition. But that is a good game, don't get me wrong. But yeah, they want like... They don't... It's like weird games. So like one of the ones they're... And each family has to come up with a game for everyone to play. And so we will be... My wife's like immediate family. It's all her family. But my wife's immediate family is looking at... You have to... put on underwear. You're fully clothed, but you have to put on underwear without using your hands. Some of the games are like Christmas themed. Some of them are just the funniest for everyone else to watch. I think is part of the enjoyment of it. Oh, let me up. This is where this design is going to become a problem. The more ice I place, the worse this is going to be to build on. But it looks good so far. I'm a fan of this already. Looks wonderful. What a picturesque little scene we're creating here. I think other ones were like, you have two people holding a string with a candy cane over the string. So they're standing 15, 20 feet apart. Each person's holding one side of the string. And then you put a candy cane on it. And you have to both work together to get it in the center and put it in a bottle. And put the candy cane, like, get it inside the bottle. Very random, arbitrary games. I don't even know how most people would explain them. But that's my wife's family. That's how they do. Fun and crazy all at the same time. Okay. How are we gonna do this? I think this wall needs to come out a bit. One block. Because I want this wall to step back, I think, a bit further. Like one more. Elliot, how long have you been streaming? Almost an hour now. Almost an hour. You want to tour? We haven't done all that much. It's slow going, I will say. Learning this build system as we go. Yeah, that's probably all going to want to step back. Oops. But it could also look cool to, I don't know, mess with this. Get up there. Hmm. Huh. Detailing is so interesting in this game. Flame altar. Top 10 tips. Use a flame altar to see what the heck you're doing. Got home and moved stream to PC. Let's go. Now the party can start. Okay, so I do think... I need to remove these hand railings. Although I really like them, they'll stay in the build in the long run. I have to get them placed properly. I placed them and then made a bunch of changes. And they currently make me feel committed to certain decisions that I'm not sure about yet. What's up, Josh? Welcome in. I hate having to place these to see what I'm doing. Whee. Place is gonna get nuts as I start getting these details figured out. It's just getting these like big decisions made in the beginning, I think, is what's slow. But when you get into the detail work, this game's fantastic. Am I crazy? It's 100% not centered on this, is it? Dude, what am I doing? Oh, crap. So I could move everything over one. That would make the doors work properly. I gotta change all this. Dang it. How did I not line this up properly this whole time? It's literally one off. Don't ask questions you don't want the answer to. Seriously, though. The issue is I need the answer to this. It's gotta be right. Bummer. That's annoying. Okay, so it's a double-edged sword. This now, I don't know, I use that term so much now for some reason. So we had this problem. The issue is now that it is, so we need to make the bridge one wider. I'm actually okay with this. So if we make the bridge one wider, then I have to add one onto everything and move all of this. This is such a pain. Such a dumbass. Ooh, the pain. Won't start with door placement. Dude, seriously. Ah! I'm so annoyed. How am I that's the thing I don't understand. How am I just now noticing this? That means I have to move add one onto everything here. Such a stupid mistake. I make these mistakes, so you guys don't have to. Like, it'll work. It works. Wait. Just weathered stone. What? Is there a... Could use this, I guess. So what we thought was a problem last stream ended up not being the problem. wasn't the real problem all along. Let me up. It's all gonna work out. We're gonna be okay. So now I can't do this center line. It's the only downside. Which is a little unfortunate, but I mean, we'll be fine. And then this. Use the correct blocks. Get in there. Then we gotta change these. Well, actually, I like this detail, but it's not in the right spot anymore because I erased everything. Make a double thick line? Ooh. Very possible. Okay, let's make sure we're doing this right now. Weathered stone. So that means that this all needs to become granite. Because it's going to go to the outside. Or we could move it in one, I guess, at the same time. I'm not really sure if that going to be meaningful change, but... Ooh. Granite. Get this thing out. Also, welcome in XYZ. Hope you're having a good night. Joining us for just great building content here, you know? No, that's not right. This is weathered stone. Okay. I can get down with that. I can get down. Ice. Stop it. Some depth building there. This is weathered stone all across. And there. Okay. Which means, how did these work? Stairs go to there. Then every other block. Yeah, that's fine. Run. Okay, we're even. We did it. I think that's one thing I really enjoyed about Grounded specifically is the ability to throw down blueprints. Now, this game sort of does the same thing with undoing what you did. So there's a caveat to it. It does have its own sort of system that allows that, but it is not being able to see exactly what you're placing down is how it's going to work is interesting. I like the idea of leaving these somewhat open. Creating like planter beds or something. That'll work well here, I think. Not the same height, is it? Okay, it is the same height now. We put plants and stuff in there, create some cool or detailing. I want to find a way to make this look more like water, but eventually they will have actual water, so it'll be fine. Poor maintenance personnel? Seriously, man. You guys never keep up with their job. So this is also... Jeez, wrong button. Why... Are those all individuals? Crap. I gotta get better about using the right blocks. Like when you place individual blocks, you can't just erase them. That's been taking some serious getting used to. Am I crazy? This doesn't feel... I guess it can't be centered, can it? But can? Make sure I did this right. Something feels off. Something absolutely is off. What is happening? I added 2 to this? What did I do? This is also like the worst block to be doing this with. Okay, this is centered. Goes to this. This is centered. Goes to that. This. I think this is where first person would make a really big difference to me. These details can be really difficult to get right because you can't really see. Just this thing that's throwing me off? I don't know why it feels wrong, but it looks right. It's 1, 2 blocks. 2 blocks, 2 blocks, 2 blocks. I call that centered. Let's get it right before we go absolutely insane with these details. It also makes, so like if you see how this block lines up with the edge, this block doesn't line up with the edge because it's got these little crenellations or whatever you'd like to call them. To make it visually, it can be really difficult to place things correctly. Okay. So, I mean, although I'm not happy that we did that, we now actually fit a door properly, so I think that part's a win here. Realistically, I did really want that door. And I was going to live with the janky one we created using 2 doors, but I think that's the correct route. So now this wants to be inset more, I think. Let's be a deep door. Yeah. Depth is going to be... I talk about this in Grounded a lot, but because it's a much more simplistic system, so you have to add details by doing super thick walls. This system has so much potential and ability to do anything and everything that you almost have to use the depth to create interesting. Like, you have to use the combination of depth and high detailing with like multiple materials, or else it just looks flat and boring. City wall. City wall. I couldn't understand why they originally had this center text. I'm like, you can see it when you scroll, but now you can see exactly what's coming, which is also very nice. So this all needs to move, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I hate that. As soon as I miss one, it's gonna mess with my brain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10 is centered. Yeah, one more. Out. Can't jump high enough. A little more. There we go. I don't know. I don't think I want this extra layer. I wonder how often I'm just going to find one random block like that that never got switched. Very easy to do. What? Okay. Those are centered now. Granite. Love the way this granite block like details by itself almost. Don't even really have to do anything. 3. Let's get this wall placed all the way up. Get in your hole. Okay. Things are happening. That's for sure. Not sure what those things are at the moment. So what this is, one block back. Yeah, let me up. It's too tall. Dang it. Lovely. Okay. That is going to drive me slightly freaking bonkers. Why do they not perfectly center? Disappointing. Disappointing, I'll say. There's going to be a lot of like infill detail that goes in these spaces, so they're not going to sit back quite this far. It'll probably be more like here, but I want like multiple layers of depth in this wall. That also means that this whole wall is incorrect. Boy, man. Bummer. Gotta be in line. And oh. How am I supposed to see this? Annoying. City, no weathered stone. Or it's just granite, duh. Where'd it go? Keep looking at the wrong thing. Yeah, there's that. This needs to be even. I feel like you should have large stone statues in a game like this. There are. There actually are. There's some really cool statues I've seen though so far. Okay, what is so okay, that's what's off. It's not connected. Oh no, I fell in a hole. I don't think I just don't have them yet. But I 100% plan on using some of them. They're really cool. And I guarantee, I think they just added those with the most recent update, so I guarantee that there's going to be more. That one? One of these chests. So one, you can place this like a giant cyclops. That's one. Two, you can place this statue or this. I haven't used them, so I don't really know them that well. But is that a big stone statue for you? You can also, which is pretty interesting, take. Dang it. You can also use this. Take it. And you can half build them essentially. So you can make like a skeleton version of it. Like if you didn't want, I don't know, the arm, let's say. Bigger. I mean, I don't disagree. But I don't think they're anywhere near done placing all of those. You can almost do like half-built ones. Not totally sure how this will work, but I do plan on using this at some point. Probably not a bad time to just grab one of them. The hope is that they just keep adding, of course. I highly doubt that they will just stop with this one statue. And then they have, of course, the head mounts and stuff. So you get some cool things. There's some options. Not full. Some of them are massive, though. And then, of course, this thing. But it doesn't aesthetically quite fit. But, I mean, that's pretty sick. And we'll get more. I can't imagine that they won't add many more statues and stuff as we go. I've been wanting to bring a couple of those over, so thanks for reminding me. All right, that's one thing I want to know. How do I set up my home altar? I haven't figured this out yet. I haven't figured out how to make this, like, I don't want to spawn at those two. They are purely there to give me the extra space I need. I think I need to move this one anyways over further, but I need a little more room. I think I'm pretty well covered. We'll have to see. Pretty much covering the whole mountain at this point, but we got a little ways to go. I also want to make this maybe more tiered. And the idea is sort of take away little bits. Make it a little more arch-like. Definitely seen a lot of people struggle to build not super square in this game. Finding a good balance between everything, I think, is really important. Or fully embracing square as well, and using it to your advantage. If you try to build too many circles in a single build, it just ends up looking even like more square. And then, man, the details that you can do with the different blocks and stuff. I mean, I don't even necessarily really like that, but it's interesting. Maybe I kind of do like it, actually. That's kind of cool. I just love how you can use the different blocks together. It's insane. Endless possibilities is all I see in this game. Missing a block there? Yeah. Oh, am I not? One of these is clipping properly and the other is not. Why is that? That's stupid. Why is it just one of them properly working? You don't really notice it, but it is annoying. Looks really nice though. It just needs like maybe just one darker block up in this corner. This is also where like some of these really detailed blocks can look really cool. Not that one though. I think just the polished granite. Maybe? It's just granite, but slightly more interesting. I don't hate it. I want, like, a lot of light and dark. This whole build is going to be sort of a mix of light and dark stuff. So, like, I want this cave sort of to be a darker structure with then white highlights, but then it might be sort of the inverse effect when we get to this area and we start building. Is when we build this massive castle that's being, like, ripped out of the ground and starting to like float away essentially. That is going to be more of a white building, like a white castle. That I really like the, where is it? Highly polished. What I was just using. This block looks really nice for castles and stuff. It creates really interesting builds. But then with this sort of like, it'll be a light structure, a light building, mainly white, and with some dark details to create more contrast, but then the lower level will be taken over by the shroud, essentially, is the idea that I'm working through. And so the shroud will be the darker area, so it'll almost like have this dark, creepy, haunted look on the lower level because it's being taken over. It's sort of the idea I'm messing with at the moment. You always have to kind of take that with a grain of salt because you never quite know. You really never know until you do it. Well, they're nice little details. I'm a fan. Really want this entrance to pop. That's kind of why I want the lighter texture. Do dislike. Need a free cam mode that I can just pop into really quick. It would make it a lot easier to tell what I'm doing on a regular basis. It's heading in the right direction though. I dislike having to make these little jump structures. I'm okay with it, but I'm not loving that I have to use them. Oh yeah, I wanted to see statue. That's, I guess, also something we could look at potentially is do we want statues? Those aren't bad. That's a good detail. Easy big details. I guess this side doesn't really work because I haven't done it yet, but it's a nice little detail to take advantage of the inset that I've made. It also is pretty much the same block, so that also kind of fits naturally. So let's get some more granite to fill in some of these holes. Uh-oh. Ew. Closer, dang it. Cool. I love when I accidentally do that. question is, this probably needs to go up higher. It doesn't probably. It needs to go up all the way. Maybe one lower? Doesn't necessarily need to be full-on support. Yes, that's what I'm thinking. It is just like a highlight detail. Definitely a lot of detail that's going to have to go into there, but... Now, back to weathered. Yeah. Ken, so done with the... You are so done with the Wisp Wyvern? Yeah. It's a tough fight. The new fight seems... Is that the new one or the old one? You at Pikes or are you at the new area? Take one. Old one? Yeah. I died quite a few times the first time I did that fight. It was tough. I will not say the combat in this game is necessarily easy at all times. There are times where it feels really easy, and there are times where it feels incredibly difficult. It's an interesting mix. Some of the enemies are just so easy, and some of the enemies are impossibly hard. Like, I refused to fight the Berserker guys for a while, because they were just horrible. Lude's helping you this weekend? Nice. Building or combat? Dang it. Has Lude even fought that thing yet? Dang it. Ta-da! Oh, this is gonna look epic. Oh, I have to move all of this to one block. Dang it. Bummer. Fighting. Interesting. I mean, it'll be good for him. I think he needs to learn. I think he would benefit from some of the combat. Or learning some of the combat, I guess. Use the... I guess such a... It doesn't need to be anything different, I don't think. Dude, let me go where I want. Can't see anything. Looting and pillaging, those are good times. Okay. Fill in the cracks. That looks nice. We could lower this down as well. Let's take this. Our block. That's not it. Get greedy. If we use this to just fill this. That ain't it. I need someone to just do all the story for it. But I also can't because, one, it's content, and two, I need to learn. We can go lower. Yeah, we gotta go. We have to go lower. One lower. Where were we? Here? That ain't it. Get it on a sliver of health, but I can't keep up with making healing items, so I need an extra pair of hands. Yeah, I feel that. Can I place? Dude, these are the frustrating. For a game that has such a small block, the fact that I can't get this to place right, it can be really frustrating. It's a combination of learning as well, but definitely a process getting some of these random blocks to place. Bro. Is that why this doesn't want to place? Hello, where are you? Why? Does this insist on being so difficult? What am I doing wrong? These are the things I'm going to get lost in for ages. Just wasting time filling in little holes for no reason. This is why I'm pretty excited to do... Oh, really? Really, you're going to do this to me? Why is that showing now? Oh, that's why. Just deleted it a little on accident. That's why I'm enjoying the streaming process of building a lot more than what I originally did, just with Grounded. There's so many like details in a lot of the builds I did in Grounded that no one will ever see but me. The way, because they just don't get shown very well. Oh my god, I hate my life. She's facing the wrong way. Rude. That ain't centered. Maybe it was, but it doesn't feel like it. A little closer? No? How's she look? That feels off. It does need to be a little justified to the right, I think. Although that's not technically centered, it will feel more centered. Is it okay that her staff's going through the ceiling? I don't know. That is hard to say. I do like, that's a good detail though. I do like it. It's just enough. I like that it's almost the same material. I can also create some highlights now using some of the other blocks. Like, sort of like frame the statue a bit better, maybe. Actually, why are we not using this? This is faster. It's kind of nice. It's a little jank, I don't know. It'll look better. One of these up top. Not quite what I was going for. Oh my god. Why? I can't even place it where I want. Every time it snaps. Okay. It's interesting. It almost needs... Where are you at? Let me up. Too far. What do you mean? Can't jump. I suck. Okay, I don't hate that. I'm gonna have to build it on the other side out of a completely different material, but just to see. Like the changes in light and dark, but sort of now leaning towards maybe utilizing more of this light and dark pattern. Which means I might need these to be different. Makes me slightly want to match what's next to this. It is also very reminiscent of how I like to build Enshrouded, which is mushroom brick combo with ash cement. Which I really like. You get, it's really nice details to have like little moments of light and dark. I do like how these two blocks interact really well. The granite and the highly polished stone, the way they like right in these areas. I really like that little detail. It's quite nice. I could also see what happens if we remove a layer of this. See her staff a bit more. I feel like there's a block missing. This ice block is not helping this process at all that I have going on here. Here. One of these blocks is slightly something about it. Is that what I'm doing wrong here? I just placed the wrong block. does help using the correct blocks. Okay. I'm alright with that. It does go through the thing a little bit, but I'm alright with that. I can live with it. Going to head out, enjoy the rest of the stream. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Sounds good, man. I appreciate you hanging out. We'll catch you on the next one. Should be back tomorrow night around the same time. As always. City walls. God dang Mongolians, break down my shitty wall. Please. Can I jump up here? Oh, that ain't one. The one. How do I want to do this? Okay, well, let's be honest. This isn't going to stick out like this. We're going to have a lot of rock work to do at the end of this anyways, so it's probably easiest to just sort of get rid of some of it. Get it out of the way. Break my ankles. It's gonna need a little more framing, but it'll be fine. Might need more white there. Instead of the, what is the city wall block there? Maybe that needs to be the white stone. Wrong one. It's a really nice, like, ledge block, so I do like that. Don't like that those don't look the same, though. Maybe it would... City wall, city wall, city wall. I did that. It's different. Sure. It's to be stone. Oh. Hey. Tough life. I'm also going to do this like I have some images that I'll have to spend some time looking at to get it all dialed in, but I do have a couple ideas for like stalagmites. I can't remember which one's correct, but allowing and having some of the stone to sort of like drip and hang over this so it almost looks a little more interesting. It's not just this thing built into the wall. It's sort of built into and around. They sort of work with each other almost. So it's going to make this a lot harder, but I think it'll look really interesting in the long run. Also gives the effect that they are one in a way that I don't think it currently doesn't feel like one homogeneous build. Whereas like this, I start to feel like these are built together. These are meant to be one. The way these connect into each other. Whereas these just feel like I'm built somehow into the wall without actually building into the wall. I want them to, the building to be more inset in feeling where it's not so tight and they overlap and mingle. It'll also add... The building itself is going to be very symmetrical. It'll be perfectly symmetrical. at the end of the day. So that allows me to sort of break up some of the symmetry and maybe make it feel slightly less, even though it's not. Interesting. I do really like this white and black look, though. I think that this is the right direction. We're heading there, finally. With slow comings, but I really like how this statue looks. It's like, it's enough detail. I might have to push her over just a hair now that I'm looking at it. Because this won't be as centered, but I think visually that's what you're going to notice more, is that she isn't centered. Kind of hard to say. There. Yeah. Like her head is now like perfectly centered, which I think visually looks better. You're never really going to be looking this straight on. Like if you're coming here looking directly at this, you're looking at a weird, really weird angle. So like a lot of this is hidden too. So I think that works. And also do a bit additional. Yeah, I don't hate that. I wish she was more centered on this. That would look nice, but it is what it is. I think having the statue centered is going to be more important than the plinth. We're also finally getting to a point where this is going to make good thumbnails. So that's exciting. Currently, I can't make good thumbnails because I haven't built anything. But now we're heading in a direction like, this is cool. We're building cool things. I'm just deciding that I don't like this little thing. I don't love it. Oh, just that piece. Yeah, that'll be fine. Rock's probably going to hang over that anyways, so it's not the end of the world. I need to get some... I need to get this one in the angle when the sun is actually on it. For some images, that'll look really nice. This is where you can lose years of your life doing details in this game that I'm like... Just the little bits and pieces that you can add. Different materials, the way they work together it's endless. Absolutely endless is what I am noticing. Lined up. Feel like it. Why does that feel so off? It's even, but it's not. I think it's because this is not filled in. Yeah, that was it. It's this. See, like these details, well, maybe some consistency here would also be good. Definitely could find myself just getting lost in the amount of detailing that I can do and never returning. It's like my mind's telling me to do a different material here in these like nooks. I'm also like, I could make the back wall like have more contrast by using a slightly different material, whether it be like highly polished granite or the polished granite. It's a little flatter, it's a bigger scale. It's also not bad. Sort of like this for more of a castle, but I do sort of like the smaller scale of the just regular granite. But I think I could utilize this in some other areas too. So I'm not going to write it out completely. I also want some fun details for this. To go to... This is also where I'm going to need to start looking up some more like circle, some Minecraft circle charts. Because it's going to be real difficult to make some of this. Of course that needs to be like, that wants to be like here, doesn't it? Just one up, doesn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Anything higher is probably the way to go. I'm gonna try it one higher. One day I'll actually get good at placing these jump blocks, and I'll be more comfortable with it. I really like this block. I'm not totally sure if this is going to be used like this, but it's cool. I also, God, I need a third monitor, man. Really bad. I need to have all my ideas. I use a lot of imagery for my builds. So it's like the main way I like to build is looking at a reference piece of material to then sort of figure out how I can make my own version of it. Create my own kind of take on something else that's out in the world already. Stop falling on the ice. Also still trying to figure out how these actually like function. Probably a more efficient way to place those. It's interesting. I don't know. I want to use some windows. I don't know if the lower level is the place to do it though. I guess that's part of the perk of using this is you get a faux version of a window. Could also look cool to do this though. Not sure if the green is really what I want. I just thought this block's always looked really cool. Please, stop. I regret doing this ice first. It definitely doesn't fit the aesthetic at all, but it looks cool. I could probably get away with like minimal highlights of it, but I don't think I could do this much. Like maybe the center is one, but yeah, it doesn't quite work. It's too much. I don't hate it, but it just doesn't, yeah, it doesn't look right with this, the rest of this. Green doesn't feel like the right color option. We could do... I'll find something to do with this at some point. I just don't know what it will be. Got some luminous blocks. We could try... I've seen some really interesting builds with this. Where's my white blocks? I have no clue where I put anything when I reorganized. Yeah, that's too much. It's interesting, but it's too much. But what we could do is then utilize, so like, all right, so let's rethink this. So if we did this one deeper, then we use the luminous block to fill. This doesn't have to be anything specific. Is this 3 deep? 2. 2? I really like the customization you have with the random windows. So now we can come through, do something funky. That part doesn't work though. I like the idea of it. There might be a universe where I can make this work. Could be a use for the smaller windows, I think. Big. Well, I guess in theory, these we could try these two. Right. Too big. Close. It is close. Doesn't work great that these aren't centered. Go in your home. Interesting, you can only overlap 2. They're like almost totally flexible, but they're also not. Could also try these. Not quite. Guess what? I didn't think that these ones aren't see-through for some reason. One sec. Then that. Then slight detail. Then could do. That block doesn't work here. That ain't the block. Too big. Too random. Either needs to be polished. Yeah, let's just keep it polished, whatever. Oh, wait, they're not lined up properly. Dang it. Oh, does that mean I go like this? One down? What? Why does this feel so wrong? Welcome in. Hope you're having a good night there. Husband? If I'm saying that correct. Feels off. Feels better on the bottom. It just feels constricted on the top for some reason. There's definitely some fun things to be done with these. It's going to take some effort to figure out how I like using them. Could change the whole shape of this thing as well. If I really wanted to make this work, I'm not sure if... That's also interesting. It's too bright though. The issue is the luminescent options, just not the one here. But we could do... just a little bit of detail with this. Oh, didn't remove the white. I was like, why does this look so shiny? Oops. Could be interesting. Not... Wait. What? Why does it look so dark? Huh. I don't understand why it looks so dark. It's not a bad detail. I was hoping that it'd be a little whiter though. We definitely need more of this white contrast somewhere. This is where lots of time in this game is going to make this feel a lot better. Much quicker. I'm going to know the blocks more. But I feel like we're making some interesting stuff. I don't know. Maybe there needs to be 2 of those. Maybe there needs to be none of them. feels so different. Interesting. There's just so many little nuances to how these blocks interact with each other, which is really going to take some like time to get used to. And we're... Girl, your booty's showing. What? Oops. Yeah, that means... What's another? What are my block options? Wood, ain't it? I don't feel like that's going to be any better. It's interesting. I'm not sure if I love it yet. I want some form of a pattern, but I think we're going to have to head this direction where, I don't know, maybe these columns are going to have to change. I really like these columns. They feel good, but I'm really heavily leaning towards liking this sort of dark and light combination. I guess we could also... do one of these. Although why that's doing some of those things. Huh. I'd like that a hell of a lot more if it didn't do this texture for some reason. I actually really like that if it didn't do that texture. Dang. That's the only part I don't like about that, is that texture. Huh. We also messed this up too. So weird. Why does it do that? I wonder if I could fill with a different texture, different block. I don't know. I don't hate it. I just don't like that it's doing that one thing. We can also... They're good places to do some torches and stuff. It's so close. It almost feels good. Dang it. Could get away with maybe 2. So moving this down and then adding a second one might look nice. I love how they go away when you're back here. It's perfect. Not as good up close. Can one other semi-white block. What is it? Naturally, that doesn't do anything though. Just makes more weirdness. Bummer. Fancy stone? Do it. I don't understand why it's that block doing this. Seems like such a weird interaction. Quite annoying. I don't like it. Because I can't figure out why. That's why. It's because it's the bottom brick that makes the little thing. Oh, I wish there was a way to place it so it didn't do its voxel thing. That makes this really difficult to use blocks together like that. I also notice the little things like the bottom doesn't get this little lip and the top does. So you get almost more of a circular effect and less. Interesting. The little things I'm learning about this game as we go. We're heading in the right direction though. I don't love this yet, but we'll figure out something. This I'm really a fan of so far. Maybe it's 2 of the... I mean, I don't think I want to use 4 statues. It feels overkill. But maybe I need to just mimic this pattern here instead. And not try to inverse it. Leave a little more dark in the background. Maybe that might not suck. Because this depth and like light and dark is working really well for me. I really like that. Creating exactly, it changes, creates really interesting effects depending on the angle you're looking at it. The detail is sort of, as you get closer and closer, you get more and more detail showing. Not necessary, I don't think. That I can live with, though. And yes, these are extremely small details that most people will never notice, but it's the things I notice. Maybe it'll interact slightly different with a different block too. Maybe it's the polished granite that's the issue here. Maybe just granite is the way to go. Ugh, I need a new swing arm. This thing drives me insane. There's not enough adjustment in my boom arm. It just moves. To move it up, you just have to move it further and further away from you. So it doesn't work quite the way I want it to. I'm a granite. It's also driving me slightly bonkers that these blocks are doing what they're doing. The texture, if you can see, is justifying itself to the right, which isn't any better. We already figured out it's not that block. Interesting struggles. That works better. Does it work better the whole way though? No, it doesn't. What happening? Some really funky interactions in this game that I still have to figure out. Where's the polished again? Circle's just not quite doing it. feels even more off. Yeah, I might have to stick with some windowed type pattern. I do have an idea for some windows, so I might mess with that next stream. Figure out kind of how I want to utilize some windows in this space, because I want sunlight to come through to the inside for sure. I know that. And we're not currently allowing that, so that might be a mistake. At least we got the door centered and everything tonight, though. Doesn't feel like we got a million things done, but at the same time, like, I like where we're headed. We're headed in the right direction. When's the sun hit this thing? I need some shadows to show up. Photo mode with the ability to change the time and the sun. Ugh, please, devs, please. The stream's looking cool, though. I'm a fan of how that turned out. We still got a long ways to go on it, but... Notice that snow block was floating. We'll get that more filled in. This is all, and then I'm going to put a big pond, I think, up there at some point, but I don't want to spend hours placing snow and ice blocks just to get a river that is more of an end detail compared to what I need to work on for the exterior of this whole thing. But it is now 10:33, is when I like to call it typically, right around 10:30. So I appreciate everyone hanging out for the night. Hope everybody has a great rest of their evening, morning, whatever it is, from wherever you're from. And I'll be back tomorrow, roughly around, it's been closer to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It all just depends on when my son goes to bed. So if he goes to bed earlier, I'll be on, but it's usually between 7 and 8 is when I go live. And I will schedule that on YouTube as well, so people know that I'm going live. But otherwise, I appreciate everyone hanging out. Hope everyone has a great rest of their evening, great day tomorrow, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.